Hello again. So, this is Random Thoughts Part 2, and I just uploaded my Random Thoughts Part 1. I just decided, well, might as well just do it now. So then I ended with saying I was gonna pause there because I had to do my laundry. So I come back now after finishing my laundry. But I'm also thinking, I could have these Random Thoughts video anytime I want now that I think about it. So when I don't have something that's play related, I'll put it as this video called Random Thoughts. So this is part 2, but part 3, 4, 5, 6, 100 could happen later. So I decided that this is going to be the series. And so just this randomness is not really play related, and just if anyone wants to hear my random thoughts, you are free to hear in these videos. And so today is still July 20th, 2025, but it will be July 21st very soon. So, we ended off in part 1 of me just I'm of my feelings about Monsta X as their fan. So, because I originally liked them as the 7-member group, which is what they originally were, and sadly, one member had to leave. And even after that one member left, I still like these guys. So I like these guys as people, not as singers, not as celebrities. I like them all as people. And so even though they are not working with that one person anymore, I still like all 7 of them as people. And I want to support their career and see them as often as I can, because I like all 7 of them. And I think this clearly shows how much I love them, because I definitely would have left their fandom after Wano, the member who left, after Wano left. For sure. For sure. But with me loving them that much, proves it to me, wow, I'm still here. Proves to me that I love them so much. And as we see here, they're having this dinner because those 2 members, no, only one member, him, this guy, he just finished his military service, while the other guy in the army suit, he is still doing his military service, but he came over to enjoy this dinner together to celebrate his military discharge. And so there's all six guys there, and this was, they're still, hanging out with each other, still making content videos, even while some members were in the military. But this video couldn't be uploaded until they all finished their military service, though. So this was filmed a couple months ago, almost a year ago, and then after now they've uploaded it when they all finished their military service. It's some kind of law or rule about that. I don't know the details, but I know it's a rule of things like that. So, what was I saying? So yeah, I love these guys a lot. I love these guys a lot. And another reason of proving how much I love them is that I have to wait for them to finish their military service. For 7 guys, it's still ongoing even until now. So the first member enlisted in 2021. He got discharged in 2023, but then the other members started enlisting end of 2022, 2023, and those members got discharged in 2024, 2025, and then one member, we are still waiting for him to enlist, and we have no idea when he is enlisting. But it should be any day now, but I have no idea. So I'm glad 6 out of 7 members are done with the military, but that one guy still has to go. So I've been going through the members missing for 1.5 years over the course of 4 years now, since 2021. Wow, 2021 felt like yesterday. I still can't believe it. And sadly, there's still, I don't know, maybe this last member to enlist, I guess he'll be done by 2027 at this point. So that would be total 6 years of waiting for all of them to finish the military. I wish that one member enlisted in 2023 or 2024, but yeah, up to him. He still is not enlisting yet. So, even though I sound very annoyed, of course I am, but I still love them that much. I still love them that much. I've been waiting for all of their discharge. Each guy, military service is 1.5 years, but some of them do social service, and so that is adding on 3 more months. So yeah, each guy had to wait for them to finish their military service, and even during that hiatus, I still like them. I still like them, and when some members were missing, I was supporting other members that were not on hiatus. So I still felt busy, but it still felt empty. It still felt empty because I liked them as a group, but they're not 7 members anymore. So I'm like, oh, it doesn't really matter anymore, right? So I felt like maybe this is the best way for me to be their fan, to just support them individually instead of a group. I felt like that was probably best for me, and overall, I felt I was okay, I thought. But then when I became a fan of Plave in 2024, it was such a weird coincidence, but during that time when I became a Play fan, that's when all of Monster X guys were pretty inactive. So one member was doing a solo tour, and I did go see his concert, but it felt so empty even though I saw that solo member concert. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know how I feel as a Monster X fan anymore, but I just decided, hey, most of the members are still in the military, and I just found Plave. Let me just put this on the back burner. Basically, I did for the last year and a half. Put this on the back burner until everyone comes back from the military, and in the meantime, I can enjoy Plave for as long as I want. And I don't want to be what's the word? But I didn't want to commit too much to Plave because I still have that fear of like anything can happen to a group and make me sad. And so I still wanted some distance with Plave, and I just enjoy them as they were. And as I kept going down that rabbit hole, I think sadly I am now very attached to Plave, but let's talk about that later. So I was so comfortable just enjoying Plave and Monster X legit, and Wano even. He was inactive even after he finished his military service. So I was like, there's really nothing going on with any of the 7 guys. And so it led me to be able to do so much as a Plave fan and only focus on them. And I legit felt like I was still taking a break from Monster X. And I'm like, you know what? But this is good for me. And then I was going to deal with my feelings once they all come back. And so that time is now. That time is now where I have put it in the back burner. And now they all 6 members are here, except for the one member who still has to enlist, but all 6 members now are active, and they've been preparing for this concert, and it just happened this past weekend. And so when I went to their concert, just being there for the first time in so long, but also this was the first time I see their concert as 6 people. So the last time I saw their concert was when Wano was still there. And all those concerts I saw of them when Wano was there were the best concerts I've ever seen. And they will still hold a very special place in my heart as the best concerts I've ever seen. And so now, after failing to get a concert ticket for the 6 of them, I don't know why, but it just happened that way. And now, finally, my first time getting a concert ticket and first time seeing them as 6 guys, and also most of them finishing their military service. So overall, I felt like this was going to be a really new perspective on them. And so I was thinking, it's weird, but I'm still excited to see them. I still love them a lot. So I always feel that within me, like, even though I've technically grown apart with them because they were on hiatus for so long, and having to wait for them for so long. But I still love them a lot because I still love them a lot as the people they are. And so I was still excited to see them and see how I feel. And I also wanted to see how I feel after I see their concert, now that it's been so long and they finished their military service. Will my feelings change? So I wanted to wait until I finished seeing all their concerts and then organize my feelings, which is now, which is why I'm doing this video. And Hamin has been writing so much bubble today. It's so crazy why today, when I'm feeling all these feelings, like Hamin's timing with me is always so crazy. Yeah, but yeah, today he's being very sentimental for some reason. Anyways, yeah, I was writing my response to him, but I'll talk about that later. Um, so I saw Monsta X concert in person yesterday, and then today was the online stream of the concert, and today was the final day. So, um, so 2 days of the Monsta X concert. Well, first seeing it in person. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so 1 second. Why is Hamin writing so much on Bubble? What? He usually doesn't write this much. So I mean, okay. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. I'm not writing anything touching to him, but I just feel weird if I don't respond, and so I'm just doing that quickly now. Yeah. But I always would like to talk to not talk to him. I mean, of course I would like to talk to him, but I would like to I would like to, like, what's the word? I would like to say many things to Hamin if I could, and Bubble as an outlet is nice, but I mean, does he really read all the messages? We don't know. They say they do, but we don't know. And but okay, let's talk about Hamin later. So I saw Monsta X concerts, and I still find it so hard to talk about, but that's why I'm making this video, to try to organize my thoughts. So their past concerts I saw in person was only of the 7 of them, but I did see their concerts online stream when it was just the 6 of them, because yeah, I couldn't get the physical ticket, but they always did online stream ever since 2020. So I at least was fine to at least see their online stream, but of course I was still salty. I'm in Korea, but I can never see my favorite K-pop group in concert, right? So I'm like, that sucks. But and so I always felt like, but maybe it's meant to be I never see them as 6 members. So I always wonder, maybe it's meant to be I never get their concert ticket, because I don't think I would have been happy to see them as 6 members performing together, because it's so different with Wonho not there. But every time when I saw their online stream concert, I was still satisfied with it. Um yeah, the thing is, I was still satisfied with it, but I still felt salty. Like, I wish I could be there. I would enjoy it more if I was there. I'm in Korea. Why can't I be there? So I always felt that way, as like, I still enjoy the concert online stream, but always sad that I can't be there in person. But I wonder, would I really be happy seeing them in person? I don't know. So I always went back and forth on those thoughts. And now I finally get to see them in person as a 6-member group. But this happens after I become a Play fan. Isn't that hilarious? Like, I wonder, why didn't this happen before I become a Play fan? I don't know, right? So I just find that so crazy. After I start liking another group, now my Monster X luck is getting better? Really? So I always laugh at myself as I'm doing now. I'm like, of course it would happen after I start liking another K-pop group, right? That's when my luck suddenly is happening. So anyways, sorry. I'm so bitter even when my luck is getting better, but I just find the timing so ridiculous. So anyways, I do think that does affect my feelings now as a Monster X fan because I'm now a Play fan too. So if I wasn't a Play fan at this time and I go see their concert, I would like to believe my feelings would be different. I would like to believe. Yeah, so I feel weird thinking of that. Like, am I really happy that I'm a Play fan? I don't know. I don't know. Because of me liking Play, I feel sorry to Monster X now. That I guess I don't really like them as much as I thought anymore. But I do still like them a lot. I can just feel it in me. I still like them a lot. That I'm willing to still support them after 1-0 left. After waiting for them for so long during their military stuff. Even after I went through all that, and I still want to support them, says a lot. So actions speak louder than words, let's put it that way. So even though I really can't explain my feelings well about Monster X, but I still do like them. And so seeing them at the concert, I was happy to see them after so long of not seeing them, especially with most of them finishing military service. But I think oh my gosh, that video was way too short. Okay, so but sorry. Okay, so um so while I was watching the concert in person, I don't know if I was happy. If I don't know if I was happy, maybe I wasn't happy, but I was not sad. That's the thing. I was not sad. I was happy to see them. I was happy to be there. But I was sad now that I think about it. I was sad because I could tell it wasn't the same. Right. I could tell it wasn't the same because of Wano not being there. And then when there were parts where Wano was cut out of like photos or videos, or when they had to change some things of the song because Wano originally sung those songs, and they had to change some things. And so when I was seeing or hearing things like that, those were when I got sad. And I'm like, how can I keep going as their fan if I'm always going to get sad when I see those things? And then that got me thinking that Wano is really good at making songs, and he has made a lot of songs as a Monsta X member, and those songs performed at concerts, and I love them a lot. But sadly, those songs will never hear again because Wano made those songs, and that makes me again so sad. He is not a criminal. He did nothing wrong. But all the songs that Wano made for Monsta X, we can never see them perform it again. And they can never talk about it again. Isn't that crazy? This doesn't make sense, right? I still don't know why they act this way. Like Wano never existed in Monsta X. And all the work he put in Monsta X, all the songs he made for the group, they're now dead, I guess. Can never be talked about or performed ever again. Some of my favorite Monsta X songs are made by Wano, and I can never ever see or hear them again at a concert, or they can never ever talk about it until forever. Like, is that really what's gonna be Really? So so that's why it still shocks me even until now. Yeah, as you can see, it makes me not feel good. So so I realized that more seeing it in person at their concert. But you know, now that I think about it, maybe even if I saw their concert before I became a Play fan, maybe I still would have felt this way. I think so because at that time I was still emotional about Wano not being in Monster X. Right, right. So I felt like with the online stream, I felt more distant from it. That I could just watch it as a concert, but I didn't think about one or too many sad things now that I think about it when I saw it on the online stream. Yeah, now that I think about it. But seeing it in person changes a lot. That's right, that's right. So maybe this is good timing. It happens now instead of earlier. Okay, yeah, I'm just realizing this about myself. Yeah. So, realizing all that at the concert, that is not the same as how it felt when the last time I saw them was when 7 members performed at the concert. So, it felt very, very different. And then, so today, when I saw the online stream, I already knew what was going to happen. So, I just felt like I was just seeing this as like my review of just reminding me all the things that happened. So, I was enjoying it, but was also reminded of the things that made me sad too. But it definitely felt different seeing it online. I felt less. What's the word? Uh, less. I don't know. It felt different seeing it in person for sure. Like not being immersed in it feels less impactful. Right. It was less impactful seeing it online. And so all those years when I saw MX, MX Monster X, when Monster X concerts as 6 members when it was online stream. Right. It was less impactful. Yeah, so if I saw it in person, it's very different. And so, yeah, so I saw the online stream mm, and so it led me to think lots of things and why I'm still not able to organize my thoughts well right now. Hmm. So I'm thinking how I can move on as a Monster X fan now that I'm organizing my thoughts about it after seeing their concert. And, you know, these feelings wouldn't have happened if I didn't see their concert. So that's why I need to um, organize it and how can I move forward from this. Um, One thing that I like to do in person when I go to these concerts, even though I'm not sure how well they can see the audience. I mean, again, that venue is not super big. It's always possible they could see everyone well, but who knows, right? Who knows? But I don't want to believe I look like an ant to them, right? So I do feel like if I do something unusual, I would like to think they would probably notice it. So that's my feeling on that. So so let's say like I'm deep in my thoughts and I'm not cheering very hard when they're performing. Everyone around me is cheering, right? Except for me. So I would like to think they possibly will notice that. So I subconsciously, you know, try to blend in and just I don't want to make myself stick out like I'm not a fan, right? So um so that's something that I think is very special that you can do as a fan for your favorite singer when you can go see them in concert and like they kinda know you're there, right? And you can show your support as a fan physically like that. And I personally do like that. Like, they obviously don't know me. I mean, what I mean by that? Okay, they know me as a fan. That's what I mean. So they know me as a fan, and I like that I'm able to show how much I like their music, how much I like them, and so cheering for them. Like, I am here as one of your fans, and I'm really glad that I can be here to show you physically I'm here supporting you as a fan. So that's the only thing I like that I can kind of give back to the singers I like. And so that's always something I really liked. Whenever I went to a Monster X concert, I really liked how I felt I could physically show them my support. And so I was able to do that this past weekend. And I think that was the only highlight for me of going to their concert in person. I'm really glad after so long of not able to see them in person that I was able to physically show that I was there, and I'm glad to have been able to show I'm still their fan, that I haven't gone anywhere. Again, they don't know, right? But I'm glad to at least show I'm one of the fans that are still here even after waiting for you guys for so long, and even after Wano left, I'm still here because I love you guys a lot. So I'm glad to have done that. And I think that's the only reason I'll ever want to go see a concert again. Yeah. Because okay, so the venue is so far away from my house. Okay, what I mean by that. I don't I'm exaggerating. That's why I say that. So it's really tiring. So it's not super far. It's okay, I'm in the same city. Okay, I'm in the same city, but it's so far away from me even though we're in the same city, the venue and my house. So um so after the concert, everyone is going back home at the same time, of course, right? Oh my gosh, it took me forever to get back home because there was so many people, and I was already so tired because the concert and the energy you spend into a concert is you get tired, and then I have to make the long trip back home. I was so tired. And it's summer. It's so hot outside. So like no, okay? Just I felt so what's the word for this? I felt like my soul left my body. I'm like, I just got to make sure I get home, in safe and sound. But I felt like I had zero energy in me. Like my battery was so low and was barely hanging on. But I thankfully made back home all okay. But I was like, wow, oh my gosh. And so that made me think I'm glad in some sense I'm not seeing Plave's concert next month because I'm sure it would be way worse than that, right? And so, or maybe about the same. I mean, the venue is the same. I mean, Monster X, didn't sell out all the seats on the day that I went because I saw some empty seats in there, but those are most likely scalpers that couldn't sell those seats. And so I'm like, I wish scalpers would just stop doing what they're doing and those seats could have gone to fans, right? But yeah, scalpers. I don't know when they will ever go away. And so yeah, so there were some empty seats at Monster X concert, but it was still like 99% full in my opinion. 98%, I don't know exact, but it still looked so full. But you can obviously see some empty seats, but it was still very full. So maybe let's say 98%, I guess. And with Plave's concert, we'll be in that same venue, but I'm pretty sure all the seats are sold out. But still, yeah, MX pretty much almost sold out the whole venue. So experiencing that again in August when it's way more hotter in August. Oh my gosh, like I don't even want to think about it. So I'm thinking, just to make myself feel better as well, because I cannot go see Plave concert next month. But going through that horrible experience of the Monster X concert and trying to go back home when it's so far away from my house, I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm glad to have done it for Monster X, but for Plave, let's hopefully see their concert when I'm hoping they go to a venue that's near my house. Fingers crossed. I really hope they do. There are concert venues near my house, so please, I hope they go to those, or just hopefully they don't do a concert in the summer again. And so hopefully, and also hopefully that I can get a ticket. So anyways, I'm losing my train of thought. So I was so tired after the Monster X concert. But even though I was so tired and my soul left my body and all that, but I don't regret going to their concert. And the thing is, I can't say I was really happy after seeing their concert, because every time I saw their concert as 7 members, I was always so happy after the concert ended. But this time, as 6 members, I didn't feel that kind of happiness. But I was only happy to be able to show them that I was there as their fan, supporting them. That was the only thing that I enjoy the most. And of course, I enjoy their performances and their singing. I love how talented Monster X guys are. And they sang some songs that I'm a fan of, but they sang some songs that I wasn't a fan of. But it's always gonna be that way. I can't like every single song from a group, right? So but I still rank that as number one. The reason I don't mind to go see another Monster X concert again is to show to them physically that I'm still here supporting for you and as your fan. And so, if the next Monster X concert, if I can luckily get a ticket again, I wouldn't mind to go again. I would not go all 3 or 2 days, whatever amount of days they do the concert. I am completely fine just going one day. And I just want to be there just to show them my support, right? I don't need to go every single day. And so I do think that's a key thing as to why I'm very content to only see them one day, and then hopefully a second day would be online stream. I am so content with that. In the past, I would not say things like this, but I am very content with that. And so as long as I'm able to get a ticket, and whether it's near the back or at the front, like I'm fine as long as I can show my support for them. So I'm glad to finally show that to them after they finished the military service. I feel like that was even more impactful, because it's like I waited for you guys and I'm still here supporting you as a fan at your concert. So I do feel like that's quite meaningful that I was able to do that. I wish I could have done that before they enlisted. I was really sad when I couldn't see their last concert before they enlisted, because I also felt like, oh, I don't feel like I'm being a supportive fan if I can't show it in person. So that's why it made me so sad and complicated all my feelings. And so finally I show my support now, and that's it. That's it. Yeah, I guess in conclusion, I support them, but I'm not as passionate as their fan as I used to be. But I still want to buy their merch. I bought some of their concert merch. I thought it was cute, and I'm like, I kind of want it, and so I decided to get it. So yeah, I still want to buy their merch. And when it comes to buying their albums, I used to buy a lot of their albums. I used to but now I'm like, oh, I don't need to buy their albums anymore, because I don't even look at them. Like, I'm like, why do I even have them? But that was just me as a passionate fan. I felt like I should have all their albums. But now I'm like, no, I'm good. I like supporting their music digitally, so streaming for them digitally. I like doing that. But then owning the physical album for now, I don't think I need it. But it depends. If I really like the album, then I'll buy it. But if I'm not a fan, I'm sorry, I am a fan. I mean, if I'm not liking, how the album looks, or I don't feel like it's necessary for me to keep their album, then I'm not gonna buy it. So this is my first time thinking this way of a Monster X album, that I don't really need to buy it. So I think that's interesting. But I feel that way with Plave, by the way. So that proves that I don't like Plave as much as Monster X. But for Plave albums, I didn't feel like, oh, I don't really need to buy their albums. But just for their Dash comeback, I decided to buy some of their albums, because I was very passionate to have them break records. And so I'm like, I really want to see them break records. And so I wanted to support their career as virtual K-pop singers. Like, I know me buying their album will help their career. So it's not really like I want to keep the album, but I don't mind. Their Dash album is actually prettier than I thought, so I don't mind keeping it. But I mainly bought their albums to support their career and to break records. So that's how I feel when I buy Plave albums. But I don't ever think like, oh, I need to own it. I don't think that way about it. And so with Monster X, buying their albums to support their career. Now that I think about it, maybe I should, if I. But for some reason, I don't feel too passionate about it. At least not as much as I used to be. But I'll try to support them in other ways. Like I said, digitally is what I like to do more. Hmm. Hmm. So I'm just thinking how to move forward from this. So I think how I feel with Monster X and Plave might be on the same level. At first, I felt like I had to choose, but I think at this point, I know that I love Monster X more than Plave. I do know that, but I clearly don't show it, and I do know that as well. Um, hmm. So, so the more that I think about it, because as I said earlier, I really do like that I could physically show and be there to show to Monster X that I'm here as your fan, and I didn't leave, and I still like you guys a lot. And I like that they could physically see me as a fan in the seats in there, that's me. But then for Plave being virtual, I mean they say they, I mean, no, they could, so they could see the audience at the concert. But of course, it's like, I think they see it as like a video call, like they have the cameras there that can show the audience, but they cannot really see all the fans super clearly. And also, it's not like they could really interact with the fans physically in that venue, right? I mean, they try, but it's not the same. So me not seeing a Plave concert in person yet, I am worried a bit that I most likely wouldn't really like it, because how is that different from seeing them online stream? And also, like, they also have the concert stream in movie theaters. I saw that last year, which I thought was really cool. And so I honestly thought, like, this is still really good. I really enjoyed seeing the concert even at the movie theater. And even though, yeah, they can't interact with us, but even at the concert venue, I felt like they didn't really interact with the audience either. So I've always wondered, like, even if you see it in person or not, it feels all the same, which I think is a big benefit as a virtual K-pop group. So, 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 so I think because I cannot show myself physically to play that I'm their fan, I go into the other ways of how I could support them. So Bubble is one of them. So I have Play Bubble subscription, but I do not have Monster X Bubble subscription. I used to have Monster X before they enlisted. I just felt like it was important to have that before they enlist, and I can tell them, take care of yourself, get back safely, and just, like the ending messages with them before they enlisted. So I prioritized that, but also I wasn't a Play fan at this time, but I was really happy to do that. And so after they went to the military, then I didn't need to have their bubble anymore. But then once I became a Play fan, I was curious how their bubble would be, given they're virtual and I don't really know them in person, right? And so I'm like, I wonder how they would be on Bubble. So I only started Play Bubble because I was only curious how it would be, because I know them as a virtual person, but I know they're a real person. But it's like, I wonder, I just wondered. So I just wonder, let me see how their bubble would be. And and they are crazy. So their bubble messages is out of this world. It is, I mean, I thought Monster X was good at bubble messages, and I think they are. I don't have other singers to compare to. I only ever did Monster X and Wano on bubble subscriptions. But then Yeah, so I'm only comparing within them, right? And so when I started Plave Bubble, I was really expecting they'd be maybe Monster X way of doing bubble, which I felt like was very normal and just common of what any K-pop singer can do on bubble. So that's something I expected Plave would do, but I also set low expectations that maybe they wouldn't do as well as Monster X. Yeah, I just wanted to just keep it low and just try it out and see how it goes. But they ended up being amazing. The best bubble experience I've ever had with any K-pop singer. I thought it was crazy. And and so, in just good timing, since I didn't have Monster X Bubble at the time, when I became a Play fan, I only had Play Bubble, and I was like, wow, this is weird. And then when Monster X guys were coming back from the military, then I decided to start up only one person's bubble. He was my no, he is. Ugh, why do I say past tense? I'm so sorry. He is my favorite member in Monster X. So once he came back from the military, then I restarted his bubble, and I'm like, let me see how I feel about it. I mean, maybe I would want to keep it. I don't know. But I decided to try it, and it was really weird. It was really weird. He did bubble the same as he used to, before the military. He was exactly the same, um and it was fine. It was fine, but um it doesn't compare to Plave. So I felt like, I don't know. Do I blame Plave or not? I don't know, but I just didn't enjoy seeing his bubble anymore. I still like him. I still like him, even though I keep messing up on my words, but I still do like that member, my favorite member in Monster X. But I just didn't need to see his bubble anymore. So before, I felt like I needed his bubble and I wanted to send messages to him. I felt like, yeah, I wanted it. I wanted it. And yeah, given he is my favorite member, of course, I would want to see his bubble. So yeah, so I just felt like it was just no brainer. Of course, I would want it. But yeah, but after seeing his bubble after he returned from the military, I was perfectly fine not seeing his bubble anymore. So after the first month of having his bubble, I decided to stop seeing his bubble. And it felt weird. It felt weird because I'm like, do I like this guy anymore? No, but I still do. I still do, but I don't mind not seeing his bubble anymore. And I don't mind not able to respond to his messages either. Like I so the thing is that I didn't realize this until I started Plays Bubble, where where the messages they send and what we send to them, like overall the conversations we have on Bubble with Plave, it just feels hmm I want to make sure that I explain this correctly because it could sound weird if I use the wrong word, but but yes, here's the correct word. It feels very close. It feels very close with the way Play Bubble is when we talk with them and even when we send messages to them. I don't know how they do it, but it makes us feel very close with each other. And I never felt that way with any Monster X bubble before. Never. So even with my favorite member, and this includes Wano as well. So even when I had bubble with Wano, all of them, I never felt that closeness with their bubble. But some of them, sometimes I did feel close with their bubble messages. Sometimes, like very sometimes they would talk about something touching. Very, very sometimes. But I think I mean to say is quite rare. That's what I mean to say. It's quite rare when they say something touching and we feel that closeness with them. But with Plave, feels like it happens all the time. And that is so crazy. I think that's so crazy. And so let's take a break from Monster X. But as you can see here, they're so fun. They're really fun. I do recommend watching their content. They do a lot of fun stuff. So if you guys wanna, if you're bored and want to see something fun, I think Monster X are very fun. And so since right now I'm talking about Plave, let's go ahead and watch some Plave stuff while I talk about them. So 1 second. How about we go with the recent live stream yesterday, which was so cute. I'm not gonna review it, but it was really cute. They play basketball together. So, Plave Bubble, I seriously can't believe, like, they talk about normal stuff. Nothing special, in my opinion. They never talk about anything super significant. They talk about normal stuff, but the way they talk makes us feel so close with each other. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they do that. And so I never felt that way with any of the Monster X members. And so because I can see the stark differences, that's why I couldn't enjoy the Monster X members' bubble anymore. And I felt content to only pay for Plave's bubble. I mean, this all costs money, and so I'm glad to not have to buy for all the singers that I like, but I only have bubble for Plave, and I couldn't be more content. They are very active in the way they write messages as well, and every time they send a message, it always makes me it always cheers me up. That's what I mean. Anytime they send, I mean, sometimes they send messages that are okay, I have to admit, but it's not too often. But usually when I see their messages, I'm like, oh, that's so nice, them talking about this, and then I get to respond, and if they read my message or not. But I still do like that I can respond to it, and I also like sending the messages of support through Bubble in hopes that they read it. So yeah, so I feel like that's something that is more significant with Plave, because I can never see or interact with them in person. So only digitally that I can show my support to them. And so Bubble being one of them is something that I'm very grateful that they have. But I hope they move to a new platform. Bubble as an application company is the worst one I've ever seen. But that's a topic for next time, in random thoughts I think I can do next time. But I appreciate this kind of direct messaging with the singer, but I hope they can move to a new company. Bubble is not the best one, that's for sure. But yeah, but the guys, Plave guys, they really impressed me with how well they do with bubble messages, and even until now, I'm very satisfied with them. But let me mention about Hamin's bubble. So I mentioned earlier that he was sending a lot of bubble messages, and Hamin is So in the beginning, I was really shocked with his bubble, because he would send at least one bubble a day. That's crazy. How can you send a bubble every single day? It's unbelievable. So I felt like this can't be real. He must be like, it must be a staff or a manager that's doing this for him, because I don't want to believe that he remembers to send a bubble every single day. And so I was waiting for the day when he would not send a bubble one day. And when finally that day happened, I'm like, okay, this makes me believe he's not using a staff or something. He's not using help for bubble messages. I don't know, but I was so suspicious of it, because I'm like, is this really genuinely him? Can I really trust it? Yeah, but now that I've had his bubble for over a year now, I can safely say that he is very genuine in his bubble, and it's really impressive that he rarely misses a day of not sending a bubble for a full day. The other guys also send a bubble almost every day. I think Yejun also sends a bubble at least once a day. Like I feel like he's probably the same level as Hamin in terms of able to send a bubble every single day, but very rarely miss a day. So Bambi sends a message every 3 to 5 days. I think that's his average. So he misses some days, but it never goes longer than 5 days, and I still think that's very impressive. That's crazy. That's still crazy. And Noah is pretty consistent. I think these days it's like max 3 days. Max no, maybe max 3 days. 3 days he doesn't send the bubble. But he sometimes like sends a bubble every single day though. So it's yeah, but he does obviously miss some days. And then with Uno is a little bit better. Maybe max 1 to 2 days he would miss sending a bubble. So but that's still saying a lot. How can anyone as a singer send that much bubble? It's crazy to me. So anyway, so with Hamin, um he is good about sending at least an emoticon once a day. He does at least that. But but for the past it felt like for the past 2 weeks, he would send his usual emoticon every single day, but there will be no talking of any other stuff. Like it will just be one sentence like have a nice lunch, or like it's raining, be careful, or good night. So he would he would be doing this for the past 2 weeks. It would just be the daily emoticon, then 1 or 2 sentences, and some days it would just be only the emoticon and no sentences at all. So it's been like this for 2 weeks now of him never writing anything a lot. And so I feel like this is the longest I've ever seen him not talk a lot, if you get what I mean. Um, I'm still grateful for him at least any message once a day. I still find that incredible. Like he must be busy doing something, but he still is able to remember, oh, I need to send at least one bubble today. I find that very, very, very impressive. So I'm still touched to see that. But him not writing any substance for so long, it just felt like I wasn't able to be able to have any kind of conversation with him, I guess. So play bubble I feel is important for me as a fan towards them, where like it's one of the only places where I can show my support to them, and also feel the closeness with them. And so if I didn't have their bubble, I would definitely feel more distant with them. Yeah, so it's kind of ironic. I have to pay for this, right? It's like, so if I don't have this, then I wouldn't be their fan. I don't know. But I really enjoy their bubble, and I don't mind paying for this. So until I don't enjoy their bubble anymore, then of course my feelings for them as a fan will change. So um and so with Hamin, for 2 weeks of like not having any kind of conversation on bubble, I felt empty a bit, and I felt like I'm it's sad for me to say this, but this is like this proves to me that I don't really love Plave as much, because with no interaction from Hamin for such a long time, of any substance, I mean, like there's no substance of anything on his bubble for so long, I was like, yeah, feeling empty, and also not really liking him anymore, which is really sad. I know, but I think that's sadly an obstacle I'll always have because of them as a virtual singer, because I can never see them in person. I can never do anything to show to them physically that I'm your fan and I want to support you. I don't have anything like that. And so with Bubble, with, I'm showing my support, like I'm paying for your Bubble, and I hope the Bubble money goes towards their salary in some sense. It better be, right? No, it will. But I hope majority of it goes to them. Um, but anyway, so yeah, so because I like them enough that I would want to pay for this, and I want to continue liking them and having this close bond with them. And so when that doesn't feel it anymore, and sadly it's because of Hami not writing so much anymore, then I started feeling like, oh, yeah, now I'm not feeling too good about Hamin anymore, and I always go back and forth about my feelings for him. I don't really know where I stand with him as a fan and how much do I like him. I'm always going back and forth on it. This was a rant for next time if ever I get to that video. And so anyways, when I've been dealing with my Monster X feelings right now, and as I'm going about these feelings, and I wish I could see Hamin's bubble, like I wish I could, just anything where like I can remember that, where I can remember about Hami. Why do I mention this? Why do I want to remember him? Okay. Let me rephrase it. Is that I felt like I was struggling a lot with my Monster X feelings this weekend, but Hamin's bubble was still very scarce, and so a part of me was like, I wish I could see Hamin talk more at this time when I need it, because because I'm not feeling so great of not seeing Hamin's bubble for so long, of him not talking a lot, and so with my feelings of him like wavering right now, and now my Monster X feelings right now are kind of wavering, so I'm just like, ugh, I don't really know how I like these singers anymore, and so I was just confused basically, but I did feel like, man, I'm sad because of not seeing Hamin's bubble for so long, and now I don't really like him anymore, so I'm just like, oh no, I don't know. And so anyways, just now, while I was making these videos, Hamin started writing a lot on Bubble. And so when I was seeing that while making, Random Thoughts Part 1, it kind of made me emotional because I'm like, so now finally you're sending substantial messages, and that this would have been nice if I saw it yesterday. Yesterday I really was struggling a lot, but seeing it today is not bad too. But yeah, overall, no, his timing is good, better today than tomorrow. And so, but I find that funny. He has interesting timing these days. And so after I saw Hamin's bubble and finally was able to talk like substantially with him on Bubble, that made me feel better. But I also was thinking again, how am I their fan again? Like, why do these things matter to me? Like, why can't I like these singers without any of these conditions? Why can't I just like them as them and not think about all these obstacles? So this video as well is an hour long, and I do need to go to sleep. So let me try to wrap this up, but if I do Random Thoughts Part 3, which I shouldn't, but if that ends up happening, don't be surprised. So in conclusion, so how I like Plave, if they were in virtual and I could go see them in person, support them in person, do everything like how it would be for non-virtual K-pop groups, if I could do that for them, I would like them more than I do now, and I think it would develop how I feel for them as a fan more. But because of being virtual and I can never see who they are in person, that will always make me sad too. Yeah, it does. And so with Monster X, I can have that with them, but I will always be sad because of Wano not being there. And with Plave, they don't make me sad because, a member missing or, anything, a bad thing about the group. Nothing like that. They are one of the best groups in K-pop I've ever seen, and I will always support them. I always want to support their career because they are such underdogs as virtual K-pop artists, and I always want to support them because they're so talented, and They are so fun, and yeah, so I will always like them for that, and hopefully the members, they will, nothing happen to the members. I hope they can stay this way forever as Plave, I hope. But anyways, so I like them as that, as a solid K-pop group, but the only obstacle I have with them is virtual, and that I can never see these guys in person. And but why does it matter, right? Why does it matter if I can't see them in person and I can't show them physically my support? Why does that matter to me? So I thought I overcame this obstacle because I like Plave so much for who they are. Like, I don't think I would like them this much if they weren't virtual. Like, I usually wouldn't like virtual things like this, but everything about that they do and how they look virtually, for some reason I like it. I don't know why. They are the exception to everything I like and dislike. And I think that says a lot to how much I like them, that they can be an exception in my life. And so that's why I wanna support them and do, be passionate for them. Like, I am still so content being their fan. And and so I really like Plave as Plave, and I'm so glad that they can succeed as a virtual K-pop group, and I like them virtually. I wouldn't have this any other way. And so I had to accept this reality that I can never see them in person. So to like Plave, we always have to accept that reality. Every single fan, right? So I thought I accepted that reality, but every time when I think about it, that I can never see them in person, I always get sad. And so I don't know why that matters to me. And so I can't force myself to change my feelings. If I'm sad, I'm sad, right? So 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 with either group, Mazda X or Plave, there will always be something sad with them for me. And so at this point, that's why I don't think I can choose who I like more, Monsta X or Plave. But I love them all as singers, as people, for everything that they do. So I love them as a fan. That's what I mean. So I love them as a fan. I really want to see them succeed in everything that they do. And sadly, I have conditions for liking things. So at some point, when either group, whenever any of these singers don't meet a condition of mine, and it makes me not like them anymore, then it is what it is, right? So for now, Monsta X and Plave, they continue to do things that I like, and nothing so far has ever happened to make me leave the fandom, right? I mean, with Monsta X, I went through all that crappy stuff, right? But even though I went through all that, I still want to stay here as their fan. So that clearly shows I love them a lot, right? So I know that with me and Monsta X, but the sadness that I have for Monsta X, where I thought I got over it, that sadness, but it will always be there. And so I can never truly be happy as a Monsta X fan, but I still want to support all 7 guys for as long as there is, and as long as they don't do anything that makes me stop being their fan, which, they have to do something really, really terrible for that to happen, and hopefully that never happens. So yeah, so I will continue as a Monsta X fan, but I'm just not as passionate as I used to be, but I still really love them a lot, and I'll go see their concerts if I can. And with Plave, I really like them in some sense. I like them in the sense of being their fan feels more comfortable for me. They have content every week. They do bubble a lot. They they are nonstop working, which is crazy, and I appreciate that. So that's a condition I know I have with Play. If when they go on hiatus, or they don't send as many bubble anymore, and like just the connection with them, once that fades away, like there I don't have anything else that I could have to keep liking them. And because of that obstacle, that I can never see them in person either. So there's only so little things I have to connect with Plave, and to keep that connection with them. So when those conditions are not met, then I do feel like I can't keep liking them the same way anymore. So that always concerns me. I wish I didn't have conditions with Plave, but that's that's it's still really hard for me that I can never see them in person. But I do feel that I hope that my support for Plave does show, and if ever they read my bubble messages, that they feel my support through that. And I don't know, like I did what's the word? I helped them achieve those records of like the album sales, and Melon streaming, all the digital streaming. So I helped them reach those records, and seeing them like be very grateful, and like they can't believe that those things happen. I feel good that I contributed to that. So these are like just some of the few things that I feel good as a fan, that I can support and show my support in some sense, in that way, even if we can never see each other physically. So those are the avenues of why I feel those are important as a Play fan, but I don't feel that's important as a Monster X fan. So it's just I feel that is important for me as a fan, that I can show my support to them. Yeah, I don't know why, but that's just me. That's just me. Okay. And so, ending on this note, yeah, for some reason, I feel like I can stop being a Play fan one day. Even though that makes me sad thinking that, even saying that, but because I can never see them in person, so whenever Plave decides to retire, which they obviously can, like they are never going to reveal who they are as virtual K-pop singers, right? So when they retire, then we will never see them again, but we also don't know who they really are, right? And that's going to be sad, but that's something I should prepare for, because surely they will retire one day, right? So I feel like I'm always prepared for that. And so when the time comes when I cannot be a Play fan anymore, I wanna feel ready that I could move on from that. So I think that's why I always feel prepared for when I can't be a Play fan anymore. And so when these conditions are not met for me, then it's why I can easily like stop liking them, because those are conditions that could happen one day, and not feel connected with them anymore. So I think as a virtual K-pop artist, it's really hard, and that also makes me sad. And yeah, like I'm still so glad they are a virtual K-pop group. Like it's so nice to see a virtual K-pop group be this successful. It's honestly so great. But the struggle as a fan when I can never see them in person, that will always, that's, yeah, that's something I wish that I can move on from, but sadly, that's something I won't be able to move on from. So it is what it is. And thanks for listening to me rant for so long. And I don't know when I will make the next video, like a proper like Plave video. I don't know when I could do the next one, because I will be busy a lot very, very soon. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. So So if you don't see me make a new video for a long time, don't worry. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just I'm we'll see. Okay, so anyways, I will end on this note, and yeah, okay. Talk again next time.